back in, what, with Floyd, the flood of the century. I mean, all of Eastern North Carolina, Rocky Mountain never went through it. I don't know if you were employed then, but it was bad. We got no national attention, we got no help, we got no Japanese tsunami money, no nothing. These people, I mean, you can still ride around places of rural and still see a water heater refrigerator sitting up. Seen one the other day, said, where'd that come from? I said, probably the flood from about 10, 15 years ago. They said, you are a kid. I said, the refrigerator's flipping out of the house. These people are hurting. If there's some kind of way the General Assembly can do something, put it as law, help these people, look for the future, and do what's right. Just don't rob Peter to pay Paul and rob Paul to pay John. So that's exactly what's going to happen. I thank you for your time. Thank y'all for putting this on.
Pamlico County Commissioner. I agree with Ms. Yurka earlier. Nothing is a done deal. There's been 3 of our board members that hey, it's a done deal. We'll vote for that lobbyist. 4 of us stood up and came together and voted for it. And the next day, good evening. I would like to take this time to thank you for coming here again. I admire your courage. You must get paid very well. Now, seriously though, I do realize that you are just a messenger. But for some reason, I have an overwhelming feeling of deja vu, which sure many of us here do also. As I look around, there's nothing changed on your side or on ours. We're here together to oppose this ferry tax. Now, the governor, yes, she has granted us a temporary state of execution, so to speak. But the legislators have not come together as yet, right or wrong. Many of us have sent numerous emails to the respective board members. I myself sent out 51 and only received 3 replies. 2 were generic thank yous and 1 from Representative Dale Falwell, Speaker Pro Tem, that said, I agree. I thank him for that. Man, a few words, but I know his actions are going to be there in writing. Now I guess that what we're supposed to do here tonight is look over the proposed fee schedule and tell you our concerns. Okay, I can do that. So if you would, take your fee schedule, those of you on the board members right here. And let's go down. Line number 42. A, pedestrian. Over there where you have $1, you made a mistake. It's supposed to be a 0 where that 1 is. Where you have bicycle rider, you have a 2. It's supposed to be a 0 where that 2 is. Over there where you have motorcycle rider, you have a 3. It's supposed to be a 0 there. This is a double tax, and we are not going to back off. Now this is to us about being fair and fairly taxing the people of North Carolina. One of the things that has concerned me over the past probably couple months is that a certain legislator out of Raleigh said, hey, if my family member can pay $9 to park, then they can surely pay a tax, or excuse me, a toll to cross that ferry. Now here's what one blogger said: the NC taxpayers should not subsidize these people. They choose to live there. Let them pay their fair share. Okay, I wrote to the News and Observer, and I said our taxpayers are not subsidizing anything. Do the people on the coast complain when millions of dollars are spent on purchasing sand and salt for the roads out west? And mind you, in budget year 19, $65 million was budgeted to go to sand, salt, and snow removal. You know, 10 and 11, $30 million by February was used for snow removal. So, let's see, let me start here. When millions of dollars are spent on purchasing sand and salt for the roads out west, no. Do we complain when snow plows are used for snow removal every year in North Carolina taxpayer expense? No. It doesn't snow very much where these ferries are used by the everyday working class people. But I haven't heard a single complaint from any of them about their tax dollars being used for any of those things. When all these things from the west to the east were put into place, our tax rate was set, and we have all shared these burdens equally. It has been misspending of past administrations, now mind you, both Republicans and Democrats, that has put us in this situation. It's just unfair to start double taxing people or regions for services that their tax dollars are already paying for. I'm quite sure that people from areas where it snows a lot would hate to get an extra bill every time the trucks rolled out and spread salt and sand. And when the snow plows will scratch the clear roads. I wonder how much a toll on snow preparation and removal would be. job as you. Those people in both in Pamlico, Craven, Carter, and Hyde aren't going anywhere. We're not going away from this tragedy that's going to happen to us, this double tax. And our voices will be heard now or in November. Thank you.
Next we have Mr. Henry, please.
Peter Police, 45 Platform Road, Oriental. Joe the Police and I are your lobbyists. The conditions of which oppose these ferry taxes. I want to focus on the sociological, film psychological, and economic flaws in the rate calculations. I realize DOT consultants put a lot of work into calculating reasonable rates. I understand that. But the flaw is the rates contain no distinctions among the types of travelers. You assume all ferry travelers will pay the rate and continue to travel the ferry. This assumption may have been valid in the boom years. A lot of money was raised by pushing up fees throughout state government the last 10 years of just its wages. A little bit more on than they'll pay. This presumption is not valid in 2012. Commuters travel these ferries 10, 12, and sometimes 14 times a week to get to work and necessary services. They're not on vacation. They're commuters. These are the roads of these folks. A tourist will take a ferry a couple times a year, maybe more. Many vacationers will pay a little bit more for a ferry ride for their 2 trips per year, although you're going to lose some of them. In Hyde County, a bad combination of this state ferry tax and a federal beach access tax is actually discouraging tourism already. The back-breaking burden of this ferry tax will fall almost completely on workers. Our folks are barely hanging on, as many people have said more eloquently than I can, with this long recession and damage everywhere from the last big hurricane, everywhere you look. In Beaufort, Hyde, and Pamlico counties, working people are already stretched to the limit. They cannot pay this tax, and they will not pay this tax. It is not a done deal. You will not meet your projections. Now, honestly, a typical bureaucratic response a couple of years from now will be to raise these rates again. This scheme of taxing will ruin our ferry system. We are going down the wrong road with this. It is a flawed taxing scheme that will ultimately destroy what is a very good transportation system in eastern North Carolina. And all your fancy economic development plans from Raleigh will not save our communities if we can't get to work. This is the terrible disconnect between your rate structure and the economic reality in eastern North Carolina. And by the way, it's not a done deal.
Very well done. I'm Ellen Steele. I live in Oriental, North Carolina. I own a business, and I want to address my comments to the camera over in the corner. I'm really irritated, and I think most of us here come down to this. Why is the burden being put on us for what is being that when we have representatives, they do not represent us. We vote, we do our part, we take things on responsibly, and we ask that they do their job and represent our interests. That's the basis of American government. I spent the evening last night watching a film on Elizabethan England, and I was struck at the absolute power of a monarchy. If someone ticked you off, you simply did away with them. Well, we do it in a different way in this culture, and that's what I feel is happening to us here, and that's why we need to activate ourselves far beyond the concept of a done deal. Sign the petition, we have lots of signatures already, get more. Go out and ride the ferry and get more. Participate, write letters. I'm so tired of writing emails to Raleigh to get no response. Or maybe somebody's well-paid with benefits assistant sends me a nice little email saying thank you very much for your input. But nobody else you can't see them because there's this little camera over there, but I surely wish that that camera would pan the room at least once before we leave. Thank you very much.
My name is Joe Matea. I live at 400 Bellevue Street in Oriole, North Carolina. I moved to North Carolina this past year from West Virginia. And with me, I brought a small business, which I've located in Oriole, North Carolina. I'm a Republican. In West Virginia, I was kind of active in the Tea Party. I went to Rabbit, I went to the events that they had on tax day. Consider myself kind of a conservative guy. My background is marketing, and when I grew up in West Virginia, we used to come south for vacations, and with my background in marketing, I'm familiar with branding. And our perception was we were always trying to get south, but the speed traps in the south, we just had a sense that you didn't want to spend too much time there. And I think that taxes like this, there's no other way to categorize this than a tax, just kind of builds a perception that we aren't friendly. It's a high tax situation, and it's not something that's going to be good for the long-term expansion and growth of this part of North Carolina. Thank you. I did have one additional comment. As a new resident, trying to make my way in, I've written our representative, who was the representative for Oriole twice by email, once regarding this and once regarding another issue. I've never gotten a reply on either one. I think the fact that he's running for Senate is laughable.
Following, Mr. Cornu, this deal with